It doesn't shock me. They've lost 4 of their last 5. But I would say this. I'm not so convinced they're overachieving, Steve, if you look at the big picture here, because in terms of their chances to win the AL Central, I think out of all the teams in the AL Central, I think that Kansas City is more sustainable what they're doing right now than the Cleveland Guardians. That's just my opinion. I don't have a lot of factual information to back that other than my eye test. All right, so we got Dylan Cease against Michael Wacha tonight, and Padres 13-19 at home, but a very good 17-10 on the road. But they vastly have underachieved so far. And conversely, this is a Kansas City team that I just touched upon, Steve. Not so good on the road, or pretty average on the road at that, but 21-8 at home with a plus 2.1 run per game differential. That includes a current 7-game home win streak in which they've outscored opponents 51-22. Here's a red flag with the Padres. They've scored 2 runs or less in 6 of their last 10. They've also been shut out 3 times during that stretch and only averaging 2.6 runs per game over those last 10. Now let's look at the starting pitchers. Michael Wacha, last 3 starts, he's been in really good form with a 2.37 ERA, a 0.84 whip. He's averaging 6.3 innings pitched per start. Notice I always bring up the average innings pitched per start. That's a vital part of me handicapping a starting pitcher because that shortens the length of what we have to depend on the bullpen. And also since 2022, Wacha 22-6 in his home starts and 11-2 in its home starts if the money line is between plus 125 and minus 125 like it is tonight. So Wacha has fared very well at home. That plus 125 to minus 125 signifies to me he has a starting pitcher going against him they feel is pretty even, and the teams that he's on in those matchups, they look to that to be an even matchup. So he's done very well in those types of betting situations. Dylan Cease, on the other hand, his last 3 starts, not so good. 6.61 ERA, 1.59 whip, and 4 home runs allowed in 16 and the third innings pitched. This will be his first start against the Royals this year. He made 2 against the Royals last year, and the Royals really had his number last year as Cease pitched to a 9.58 ERA and 1.94 whip against Kansas City last year. I think there's value here. I'm looking at the last I looked, Steve, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. Kansas City was anywhere from a plus 105 to a plus 115 money line home underdog here. I think there's a lot of value here to the Royals in this spot. I'm going to take the Kansas City Royals as a money line underdog at home against the San Diego Padres, Teddy.
Looking at the Wager Talk live odds screen right now, you can get the Royals as high as plus 125. And if you shop around, you can probably find even a little bit better than that. KC, a live underdog, says Ross Benjamin. Of course, it is Fill Your Cart Friday. Take 25% off anything and everything you put in your cart. Just use promo code SUMMERCART. And of course, Ross Benjamin is a great candidate to use. And of course, you can use for anyone. You can put me and Ross and Steve and whoever else you want in your cart today. But Ross, 77-54 plus 57 units in MLB. He's riding 45-26 NBA run. He's better than 62% in the NBA postseason since 2022. And oh, by the way, 437 and 372 plus more than 70 units of profit since August across sports. So Ross, an excellent candidate to consider. Anything you want to promote for today, Mr. Benjamin, before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll have 3 Major League Baseball picks up shortly, all in the same package as you guys alluded to already with the special going on at Sports Memo. So look forward to that. And just one other thing. A lot of people keep questioning me on my NBA videos because I advertise myself as number 1 in the postseason, and they're telling me how could I be number 1 and Steve Merrill be number 1. Just to clarify out there, folks, we're on 2 separate websites, and Steve is number 1 in the regular season, postseason combined, where I'm just specifically at Sports Memo number 1 over the last 3 years in the postseason. So just, always trying to be transparent here, Teddy and Steve.